Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Bakakadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles, of Greater Millstone, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And I say, shalom to you, Akim, out there. And this is another sit-down lesson through the spirit, power, grace, and mercy of Yahweh Yahweh Shai for In the News today, July the 13th, 2022 at 3:34 p.m. Central Standard Time on this Wednesday afternoon. And the highlight of this news article, and it reads, as I did previous two videos on this, now the markets crash once again. And this is a news article from foxbusiness.com and updated July the 13th at 4:28 Eastern Time. And the highlight of this news article, and it reads for In the News for today on July the 13th, 2022 on this Wednesday afternoon. And it reads, stock market news today, inflation soars, right? Because the inflation soars from 8.2% all the way into 9.1%. And this was red hot in the month of June. Today's inflation surge, that was a sad note I wanted to put. The Dow Jones dropped negative 200 plus points. A 10-year Treasury yield jumps. Consumer data combines with the start of the second quarter earnings seasons kicks off Wednesday. Fox Business is providing a real-time update on the markets, commodities, and all the most actives on the move. Right, the Dow Jones average dropped 0.67%, and it dropped down negative 208 points. And the Dow points, at first it was like 32,000. Now it dropped all the way to 30,000. And then the NASDAQ Composite Index, 17 points. And it dropped 0.15%. And the S&P 500 dropped 2 points of negative 0.45%. Yep. So, that goes to show you the continuing fall of modern day Babylon on an economic scale. I guess the reports must have came in for the month of June because the Federal Reserves, they was waiting on the results of the inflation. They was checking to see if the inflation was going to drop, but the inflation continued to rise from 8.2% all the way now to 9.1% from the report of June, because the inflation rose real high in the month of June, and I expect for it to continue to rise even more in the last days, and because you got with the oil production, it might have dropped for the past 2 or 3 weeks now, but you still have the hyperinflation, cost of living, oil prices, even though it dropped. From what I heard from experts in the financial market, I believe they said the drop of oil prices is going to rise continually once again, because you're already dealing with the housing market. It's not so good. The interest rates consistently going up by the Federal Reserve. They increased it more than ever. So that goes to show you modern day Babylon is falling on the economic scale, and I'm going to bring out the scriptures for that. This is the book of Revelations 18:2. And these are the previous scriptures that I've been bringing out lately in regards to the continuing fall of the Wall Street. And that goes into the fall of Babylon, modern day Babylon, constantly, consistently on an economic scale. And this is the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 2. And he cried with a mighty, strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become a habitation of this devil, which is deceive. Because devil just means to deceive, that's all. Esau, Edom is the deceiving on the economic scale, and the whole of every foul spirit and a cave of every uncleanful, hateful bird. I'm going to go to Jeremiah 51:8. Right, because these are the signs of showing modern day Babylon still continually to fall. Now we know ancient Babylon fall. Now modern day Babylon is falling, especially on the economic scale. What you're seeing, things are constantly, consistently going up. The hyperinflation going up. Cost of living is going up. And many other different things, And this is the book of Jeremiah 51:8. Babylon is falling and it's destroyed. Right, it's destroyed spiritually, and it's destroyed in all many different places. It's destroyed. I would say racial division wise, economic wise, political wise, and many others. What? No, I ain't hear that. No, I ain't hear that. Heck yeah. This is Salaki. I was talking to my brother. But yeah, back to what I was saying. This is Jeremiah 51:8. Babylon is suddenly fallen, destroyed. Right, it's destroyed spiritually, racially, politically, economically, and many other different ways as well too. And howl for her pain, and take bond for her pain, and if so, she may be healed. Right. And Babylon is not going to be healed, Babylon is not going to be healed, especially because it's continued to deteriorate on an economic scale, and many other different categories. It's declining as well too, as we see that in the news. You got the racial tensions, the economic tensions. The economics of this place is continually to slip with the housing market. The inflation is off the charts. The housing market, just like in the book of Mark 3:25 said, if a house be divided, how shall it stand? Because you got different groups, you got different views on certain views of the other groups don't agree upon gender equality, divisions between that, and many other different things. So it's just showing many signs of modern day Babylon is falling on the economic scale, and many other categories is continuing to decline and deteriorate in the last days as well too. So with that, I hope this quick sit down lesson was edifying for in the news for today in regards to the reports came in for June of the markets of the inflation rose from 8.2% to 9.1%, and the stocks fall negative 200 plus points, and the S&P 500 fell too, along with the NASDAQ as well too, So it goes to show you more signs of modern day Babylon is falling on the economic scale. I won't be surprised it's going to continue more and more throughout the days that we hear the news and relates to this, So with that, I hope this was edifying through the spirit, power, grace, and mercy of Yahweh Yahushua. And first and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Wakar Kadash, Double honors to the elders, apostles, a great millstone, pushing word truthfully and sincerely. Shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, pushing word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, that be like unto the speckled bird, pushing word truthfully and sincerely. And until next time, I will say shalom and a ball.